Joining us once again now is Mark Naveau, a former coordinator for FEMA. So this is day two of taking all of these people off the cruise liner there in the Port of Oakland. What are your overall thoughts on how this whole process is going?
It appears it's going very, very well. It seems like local, state, and federal officials are cooperating together. We heard the governor the other day talk about the presidential administration providing everything that they've asked for, and the passengers seem to be somewhat content, which is remarkable, and I think they're the unsung heroes when we talk about this, because you thought you were going to Hawaii for, beach time and Mai Tais, and you've been floating on the ocean for 5 days. Now you're in your cabin, you've got somebody in a hazmat suit knocking on your door asking you, are you okay? And then you have to stay there, and you know you're going to have to face another 14 days of quarantine. But they're cooperative, and you hear them talk about it. Now, the cruise line's done a lot to make them comfortable in terms of more movies, ventilation increases, they're serving meals to them, but still,
you're stuck in your cabin.
You're stuck in your cabin, and you're facing, in some cases, limited information. They were getting a lot of information from television news, they said. So it's wonderful to see how they're reacting to this.
What do you think about the state versus the federal response? We've seen, every day it seems like we're getting new information about school closures, conferences closing, large gatherings being called off. What are your thoughts on what we're seeing on how the authorities, the people in charge, are handling this?
The difficult part with this is we don't have an immunity to it. So we don't know how this is going to react. So there are so many unknowns. How long does the illness survive on a surface? If we clean a surface, if we wear respiratory protection, those are some of the fears that drive certainly economics and population and attending public events. So I think the health officers locally are the ones that really are having to make these decisions. They're not made in Washington, D.C. It has to be made locally. So they're trying to take a look at all that information. They're partnering with the CDC, and they're trying to make the best decision they can to stop the spread. That's the key here. It's not we're going to stop this actual illness, it's stopping the spread of it.
Do you think that we're headed for a situation like they have in Italy, where they have essentially shut down the entire country now?
I don't think so, because the death rate so far, although we're getting more and more people are contracting the illness, I think some of that comes with more testing. But we're not seeing the numbers in terms of fatality, which is great news. Now, as time goes on, that may change, and I think everybody's apprehensive about that, and they want to get out in front of it. That's why you're seeing some of the bold moves. We're not going to allow public events at the SAP Center. There's an economic impact to that, certainly not to mention, from an entertainment standpoint, which is what people need right now to de-stress.
On so many different levels, and it's just so much uncertainty out there. Mark Naveau, we'll let that be the last word for now. I'm sure we'll see you more in the coming days. Thank you.
You're welcome.